Welcome to the ServSafe Crash Prep. This is the ServSafe Manager Food Handler practice test. We have gathered 40 questions with explained answers from the ServSafe exam providers. So let's get started. Question 1. Which of this will not be considered part of good hygiene in food handling? A. Using soap to lather your arms and hands. B. Drying your hands with a paper towel after washing them. C. Using hand sanitizer when it's inconvenient to wash your hands. D. Using a paper towel to open the bathroom door after washing your hands. And the correct answer is option C, using hand sanitizer when it's inconvenient to wash your hands. Using hand sanitizer is not a substitute for hand washing when handling food. All of the other answer choices are considered to be good food handling practices. Question 2. The most dangerous temperature range for preparing, handling, or holding foods is A. Above 50 degrees Fahrenheit, B. Above freezing, C. 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, D. 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. And the correct answer is option D, 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the defined temperature range at which bacteria grows rapidly, causing foods to become unsafe. Room temperature falls within this range, making food prep, handling, and holding susceptible if not controlled. It is also known as the TDZ, which stands for Temperature Danger Zone. Question 3. Olivia notices a small box of frozen chicken breasts on the counter that have been left out of the freezer and have begun to thaw. What action should she take? A. Tell the manager. B. Put them back in the freezer. C. Cook them to a temperature over 135 degrees Fahrenheit. D. Leave them where they are as someone may have left them out to thaw. And the correct answer is option A. Tell the manager. The safest action for Olivia to take is to inform our manager. Leaving the chicken, cooking it, or putting it back in the freezer may not be safe options, as the chicken may now be harboring bacterial growth. Question 4. Alex is roasting chicken for dinner service. He inserts the thermometer into the thickest part of the breast and knows it is safely cooked when the thermometer reads A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit for less than 1 second, B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit for less than 1 second, C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit for less than 1 second, D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit for less than 1 second. And the correct answer is option D, 165 degrees Fahrenheit for less than 1 second. Poultry, such as whole ground chicken or chicken pieces, turkey, or duck, must be cooked to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit for less than 1 second to be safe from a harmful level of pathogens. Question 5. Which of this is not true of hand washing? A. Hot water should be used to wash hands. B. Antibacterial soap must be used. to wash hands. C. Hand scrubbing should take place for at least 10 to 15 seconds. D. Using either a hand dryer or paper towel to dry hands is acceptable. And the correct answer is option B. Antibacterial soap must be used to wash hands. While antibacterial soap can be used, it is not a must for effective hand washing. Question 6. Mike cut his finger at work 2 days ago and now it is oozing and seems to be infected. He should blank. A. Go to the urgent care center immediately. B. Tell a manager about the finger and not work in direct contact with food. C. Place a band-aid, antibacterial ointment and finger cord over his affected finger. D. Cover it with an impermeable cover such as a bandage or finger cord and then wear a single-use glove on the affected hand. And the correct answer is option D. Cover it with an impermeable cover such as a bandage or finger cord and then wear a single-use glove on the affected hand. According to ServSafe guidelines, if a wound is located on the hand, it should be covered with an impermeable finger cord or bandage, and a single-use glove should be worn over it. Antibiotic ointment, while possibly helpful for healing, is not a ServSafe requirement. It is fine to inform the manager of the injury, but if proper procedures are followed by the food handler, direct foot contact isn't contraindicated. While Mike's injury may require treatment, that level of urgency was not conveyed in the question and is therefore not the best choice. Question 7. Which parts must every food label contain? A. Name of food and potential allergies. B. Ingredients and expiration date. C. Name of the food and expiration date. D. Potential allergies and expiration date. And the correct answer is option C. Name of the food and expiration date. Every food label must include the name of the food and its expiration date. Question 8. Although all food is in danger of becoming spoiled, which is not considered a high risk food bacterial contamination? A. Eggs. B. Bread. C. Melon. D. Uncooked chicken. And the correct answer is option B. Bread. Although bread is at risk for developing mold as it ages, the other options are all considered high risk foods and they typically become contaminated much faster if not properly stored. Melon, besides being raw produce, is at risk due to its high water content. Question 9. Which of this is not a time that a food handler should change gloves? A. Every 4 hours. B. If they are dirty or torn. C. Before starting a new task. D. After handling ready to eat foods. And the correct answer is option D. After handling ready to eat foods. Gloves should be changed before, not after handling ready to eat foods. Otherwise, at minimum, gloves must be changed every 4 hours and they should always be changed whenever they are dirty or torn. They should also be replaced after touching raw food or dirty objects such as trash. Gloves should never be washed or reused. Question 10. Which list represents proper sanitation for a surface? A. Clean the surface, rinse the surface, sanitize the surface, dry the surface with a towel. B. Clean the surface, rinse the surface, sanitize the surface, allow the surface to air dry. C. Clean the surface, sanitize the surface, rinse the surface, allow the surface to air dry. D. Sanitize the surface, clean the surface, rinse the surface, dry the surface with a towel. And the correct answer is option B. Clean the surface, rinse the surface, sanitize the surface, allow the surface to air dry. In order for a surface to be considered sanitized, you must clean the surface, rinse the surface, sanitize the surface, allow the surface to air dry. In that order. Question 11. A soup bowl is washed but not rinsed properly, and there is still some soap on the bowl surface when soup is served to the next guest. Which type of food contamination will this be considered? A. Physical, B. Chemical, C. Biological, D. Sanitation. And the correct answer is option B. Chemical. There are three types of food contamination: physical, chemical, and biological. Chemical contamination occurs when a chemical such as a cleaner, pesticide, or sanitizer interacts with food. Question 12. At a minimum, how long should the entire hand washing process take? A. 15 seconds, B. 20 seconds, C. 45 seconds, D. 60 seconds. And the correct answer is option B. 20 seconds. The entire process of scrubbing, rinsing, and drying hands should take at least 20 seconds. The scrubbing portion should last at least 10 to 15 seconds. Question 13. Which of these items is appropriate to wear when preparing food? A. Artificial nails, B. A medical alert bracelet on the wrist, C. A plain wedding band on the finger, D. Fingernail polish on trimmed and filled nails. And the correct answer is option C. A plain wedding band on the finger. A plain wedding band is an acceptable item to wear when preparing food. Other jewelry, including medical alert bracelet and necklaces, is not. Nails must be kept trimmed and filed, but they may not have polish on them. Artificial nails are prohibited. Question 14. Candle is thirsty and wants to keep her beverage nearby. How and where can she store it? A. Under no circumstances are personal drinks allowed in a food preparation area. B. The drink must be labeled and stored in a designated space in the food prep area. C. The drink must be in a covered container with a straw and stored in a non-food prep area. D. As long as the drink is properly covered and labeled, it may be kept in any location that is convenient. And the correct answer is option C. The drink must be in a covered container with a straw and stored in a non-food prep area. Personal beverages must be kept covered and in a non-food prep area to prevent spilling or contamination. Question 15. Bones left in a salmon fillet is an example of what? A physical hazard. B. A biological hazard. C. Cross-contamination. D. Poor personal hygiene. And the correct answer is option A. A physical hazard. Any physical thing found in food, either naturally occurring, such as bones or seeds, or objects such as glass, staples, or bandages, is considered a physical hazard. Question 16. Which of the following cannot be cleaned and sanitized? A. The wall. B. Dull knives. C. Greasy pans. D. A cracked cutting board. And the correct answer is option D. A cracked cutting board. Worn or cracked items cannot be properly cleaned or sanitized. Pathogens may be lodged in dents and cracks. Question 17. The FIFO first in first out procedure pertains to A. Receiving freezer items first. B. Placing cold buffet items in front. C. Ordering the most expensive items first. D. Storing products with the earliest use by dates in front. And the correct answer is option D. Storing products with the earliest use by dates in front. FIFO, first in, first out, ensures the oldest items in storage are placed in front of newer items and used first. Question 18. Which of these could cause cross-contamination when preparing food? A. Using the same cutting board for different parts of chicken. B. Using the same cutting board for dicing tomatoes and peppers. C. Using the same cutting board for preparing raw chicken and lettuce. D. Using the same cutting board for two different varieties of gluten-free bread. And the correct answer is option C. Using the same cutting board for preparing raw chicken and lettuce. Different cutting boards should ideally be used for preparing raw meat and vegetables. At minimum, the board should be thoroughly sanitized in between the two preparations. As long as all bread cut on the board either contains gluten or is gluten free. This shouldn't cause cross contamination. Note that ever-changing allergen guidelines may require additional restrictions with regard to gluten, nuts, and other allergens during the food preparation process. Question 19. Which of the following is not one of the approved ways for cooling hot foods in a fast and safe manner? A. At room temperature. B. Adding ice to the food. C. Stirring the food with an ice paddle. D. Placing the food in an ice water bath. And the correct answer is option A. At room temperature. Hot foods left to cool at room temperature pass through the temperature danger zone and are at risk of harboring harmful levels of pathogens. Question 20. Johnny has finished her afternoon prep of chopping lettuce for tonight's salad bar. She puts the lettuce in the cooler. This is an example of blank. A. Preventing pests. B. Ordering from safe sources. C. Preventing poor personal hygiene. D. Preventing time temperature abuse. And the correct answer is option D. Preventing time temperature abuse. Once Johnny chops the lettuce, its risk of time and temperature abuse only increases. Keeping it in the cooler until it is needed is an example of preventing time temperature abuse. Question 21. You can kill most bacteria in food by blank. A. Drying. B. Freezing. C. Refrigerating. D. None of this. And the correct answer is option D. None of this. Bacteria is not killed by any of these actions. The bacteria just become inactive but are revived upon return to a normal state. Question 22. The least likely of these foods to transfer bacteria will be blank. A. A glass of milk. B. A glass of water. C. A cold bologna sandwich. D. An open-faced hot turkey sandwich with gravy. And the correct answer is option D. An open-faced hot turkey sandwich with gravy. The least likely carrier of bacteria is food that has been cooked or heated after handling. The other choices are considered prime bacteria carriers if hygiene precautions are not followed. Question 23. You went to a friend's picnic and contracted salmonella from some food you ate there. You must blank. A. Report it to health officials. B. Stay out of work at your restaurant job for 4 days. C. Refrain from eating the type of food that was contaminated. D. Tell the manager at your restaurant job before returning to work. And the correct answer is option A. Report it to health officials. Any sickness from Salmonella, Shigella, E. coli, or hepatitis A must be reported to health officials. A doctor's note is required in order to return to work. Question 24. The correct setup of a three-compartment sink is blank. A. Clear water, detergent water, and sanitizer water. B. Sanitizer water, detergent water, and clear water. C. Detergent water, clear water, and sanitizer water. D. Detergent water, sanitizer water, and clear water. And the correct answer is option C. Detergent water, clear water, and sanitizer water. Items washed in a three-compartment sink must be washed with a detergent, rinsed with clear water, and submerged in sanitizer water to be properly cleaned. Question 25. Which of the following is not necessary for an off-site label? A. A list of ingredients. B. The name of the food. C. A use by date and time. D. Instructions for reheating and serving. And the correct answer is option A. A list of ingredients. Foods used for off-site service such as catering are at risk of time and temperature abuse during transport and should be clearly identified with specific reheating, serving, and use by information to keep them safe. Question 26. Julie is experiencing vomiting and diarrhea. She should blank. A. Monitor her temperature. B. Only work in the dish room. C. Inform her manager of these symptoms. D. Wash hands thoroughly after using the bathroom. And the correct answer is option C. Inform her manager of these symptoms. Sick food handlers will pass harmful bacteria to food, equipment, or co-workers, which could make customers sick. Question 27. Mark has a beard. In order to work in a food service establishment, Mark must blank. A. Shave his beard. B. only work in non-food prep areas. C. Stand 6 inches away from foods. D. Wear a beard guard in food prep areas. And the correct answer is option D. Wear a beard guard in food prep areas. Covering beards with a beard guard is part of practicing good personal hygiene, which keeps customers safe from foodborne illness. Question 28. Which of the following is true of the hand washing sink and the hand washing area? A. It must be large enough for prep food to save time. B. It must have a drain large enough to dump dirty water. C. It must have single-use paper towels or a hand dryer. D. It should have a large enough basin to stack dirty pans if needed. And the correct answer is option C. It must have single-use paper towels or a hand dryer. A properly stocked hand washing area should have soap, single-use paper towels, or a hand dryer, and a garbage container, and the sink should have hot and cold running water. Question 29. Karen takes coleslaw out of the refrigerator at noon and places it on the table to serve at a picnic. What precaution must be taken to ensure the coleslaw remains safe? A. Make sure the coleslaw is in a large shallow bowl. B. Make sure the coleslaw is in a container with a snap lid. C. Make sure the coleslaw doesn't exceed 70 degrees Fahrenheit within 4 hours. D. Make sure the coleslaw doesn't exceed 70 degrees Fahrenheit within 6 hours. And the correct answer is option D. Make sure the coleslaw doesn't exceed 70 degrees Fahrenheit within 6 hours. Cold food can be held without temperature control for up to 6 hours if it was kept at 41 degrees Fahrenheit or below until the time it was removed from refrigeration. If the cold food exceeds 70 degrees Fahrenheit within 6 hours, it must be discarded. Although food being held for service should be covered to protect against contamination, the lid is not required to be a snap closure lid. Large shallow containers are often used to cool hot food safely but are not a safety requirement for holding food. Question 30. A restaurant offers 6 types of dressings at their self-serve station. How many ladders must they have? A. 1. B. 4. C. 6. D. 8. And the correct answer is option C. 6. Every food requiring a serving utensil should have its own dedicated utensil. Question 31. Towels used for cleaning should be stored blank. A. In a clean apron. B. In your back pocket. C. In the sanitizer sink. D. In a bucket of sanitizer solution. And the correct answer is option D. In a bucket of sanitizer solution. Cleaning towels should be kept in a designated bucket of sanitizer solution and used only for light food spills. Question 32. Which of the following is not considered a biological contaminant? A. Fungi. B. Bacteria. C. Parasites. D. Pest droppings. And the correct answer is option D. Pest droppings. Biological contaminants are microscopic contaminants that you might not be aware of. They include bacteria, viruses, parasites, and fungi, known collectively as pathogens. These contaminants cause most foodborne illness. Question 33. Terry is checking the temperature of a beef roast. For a properly cooked beef roast, the thermometer must read blank. A. 145 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 minutes. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. D. 155 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 minutes. And the correct answer is option B, 145 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 minutes. Whole roast of pork, beef, veal, and lamb must reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit throughout the roast, so the reading must hold for 4 minutes to ensure doneness. Question 34. Which of the following is not a sign of thaw in received frozen foods? A. Leaking. B. Ice crystals. C. Water stains. D. Stiff packaging. And the correct answer is option D. Stiff packaging. Frozen foods must be received frozen solid. Ice crystals, leaking packages, and water stains are signs the food has thawed and should be rejected. Thawing in frozen foods is known as time and temperature abuse. Question 45. Maria is hot foods buffet. What temperature should the foods be when she checks them to indicate they are safe? A. 41 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. B. 135 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. C. 145 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. And the correct answer is option B, 135 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. Foods being held for service, like in a hot buffet, must be kept out of the temperature danger zone range of 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 135 degrees Fahrenheit to keep pathogens from growing to harmful levels. Question 36. Paul has noticed droppings and ripped packaging in the storage room. What should he do? A. Set pest traps. B. Notify the manager. C. Notify the health department. D. Thoroughly clean the storage room. And the correct answer is option B. Notify the manager. Pests can lead to foodborne illness. So, signs of eggs, droppings, torn or ripped packaging, nests, or bite marks should be immediately reported to the manager. Question 37. Which of the following foods is not considered one of the big eight that cause the most allergic reactions? A. Soy. B. Eggs. C. Peanuts. D. Strawberries. And the correct answer is option D. Strawberries. Many foods contain allergens, but the big eight are the most common: milk, eggs, soy, tree nuts, peanuts, wheat, fish such as bass, flounder, and seaweed, and crustacean shellfish such as crab, lobster, and shrimp. Question 38. Erika is cooking a salmon fillet. What specific internal cooking temperature ensures this fish is properly cooked? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. B. 141 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. C. 145 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. D. 155 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. And the correct answer is option C. 145 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds. Cooked seafood, including fish, shellfish, and crustaceans, must reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 seconds to be safe from pathogens. Question 39. Ready-to-eat TCS foods that have been prepared can be safely held in cold storage for blank days at 41 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. A. 3, B. 5, C. 7, D. 8. And the correct answer is option C. 7. Properly stored cold ready-to-eat TCS foods can be kept for 7 days. Question 40. Meats, seafood, eggs, or poultry cooked in the microwave must reach an internal temperature of blank. A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 155 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 175 degrees Fahrenheit. And the correct answer is option C. 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Microwave foods should be cooked to 165 degrees Fahrenheit to ensure they are properly cooked throughout and safe from pathogens. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to share it with your family and friends.